Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. It's Mike Parker and Artie Tafoya coming at you 250. Artie, not episode 250, but you can't pick up a piece of paper, a newspaper, go online without America 250 at this point. Are you feeling patriotic?
I am. I'm feeling very patriotic, Mike. I love this country, and I'm so excited for the 4th of July this weekend. It's going to be a great time.
No, it's been a lot of fun. Like, I feel like when they first started talking about that and like it'd be all over the news, like I said, like every news station has like its own little logo. Then there's all these like the news about this, all the state fair stuff that's going on and how there wasn't going to be Pennsylvania at the state fair thing in Washington. And then all of a sudden they snapped their fingers and there was. You're just sort of like, what, that kind of stuff is sort of annoying and distracting. But the fact that we are living at a time when we're celebrating a huge milestone in our country. I mean, you probably remember, what was the last, 250, obviously. What do people talk about? Do people talk about?
I remember the 200th. I mean, that's I'm old enough to remember that.
Okay, but
yeah. So
you do remember that,
yeah.
But you would have been like a teenager at that point.
76. Let's count back.
Yeah.
I was 13. Yes.
13. Yeah, like an.
No, I just gave away my age, Mike. I'm not that old.
That's okay. Like because I was still, I wasn't quite born yet, but it was very close. So at 76, I look at it though, like did people celebrate? Okay, so within 250, here's where it is. Like, so 250 is for the country, but like a lot of other places, I think towns and things like that. Like I remember the bicentennial where I grew up, like in our small town when it turned 200. That was a big deal. Yeah. And then there's been a lot of other places that have turned 200 and things like that along the way. But the fact that we're hitting 250, it is a big deal. I heard all sorts of stuff about it, how like, if you're going to go to wherever you're going, things are going to be bigger and better this weekend. So is that, you got any plans for?
Yeah, we're heading down to Dewey at some point. Now I'm working, but going to try to get away and get down there and enjoy some time on the beach.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'm hoping I'm going to be staying local for now. Got one of these situations going on with my family where some of the kids or one of the kids is going off with a friend somewhere. They got a better offer, and then,
oh yeah.
And then the rest
get used to that, Mike.
Yeah. And then the rest of us, we're going to go and do a little beach time as well. But it's finally summertime, and there's no doubt about it. We came inside where we're recording today because it was sweltering hot outside and you were sweating and you were doing some work on an outdoor project. And you said, we got to go inside and we have to have a beer. So let's kick things off, Artie. It's a beer podcast. Cheers.
Cheers, Mike.
This is the
Silverstock Lager.
Silverstock.
Oh, nothing better. This is sort of our lawnmower beer, nothing better. So crisp, clean, throwback lager. Back, it's supposed to, the way we designed it was supposed to taste like a beer would taste back in the 40s and 50s. And it's just so crisp, clean, and light. It's wonderful.
It is great.
Perfect for today.
You just said something that I caught, like, this has been happening because the fact is we're living in the 20s right now, So, like,
we are in the 20s, a roaring 20s. Yeah. Not so roaring, maybe.
It's funny because you have to look back on it. We're always referring, when you say back in the 20s, we're talking about the 1920s. And then that's fine when someone says the 20s, that's what we're talking about. However, it sounds like a history book when you talk about the 1820s, but the fact is we're living in the 2020s, and at some point, like our grandkids or whatever, this is the 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the last 20s wasn't the greatest 20s. I mean, is
there prohibition in the 20s?
Yeah, prohibition was in there. The Great Depression was in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. My parents were young then, but they lived through that. And, of course, my grandparents were older. But, they didn't talk about it that much. I wish I would have asked more questions about it because I wonder what it was like to live. But, they weren't, right. They didn't have much anyway. They were farmers, and there was not a lot to have. My grandfather, one was a coal miner, and the other was he worked in a cement plant. So, but everybody needs coal and everybody needs cement. So they probably picked two good jobs. And
yeah. But as I know, because I have some coal miners in my family as well. Like
you do?
Yeah, well, yeah. Like my grandfather was a coal miner. And then he ended up, I guess he was younger because he had an older brother who was also a coal miner. I'll get to him in a minute. But my grandfather was a coal miner, like when he was young, but he got somehow, I was always told he ended up kind of like went, and he got a good job with the state. He ended up working for PennDOT.
Yeah.
And so
sure.
like he ended up, started off as a coal miner, worked his way up somehow and ended up getting a job at the state. And that's like what my mom remembers, but he would tell stories about being a coal miner. And then, but I had in our family, his brother, my grandfather's brother, I just knew him as Uncle Steve, and he was always old. Mm-hmm. So one of those guys that no matter, he probably wasn't as old. I mean, when I was a little kid, you know what I mean? Like everyone just thinks, you think these people were probably older. But even so, the guy used to make like moonshine in his basement, like in a bathtub. You know what I mean? He's that kind of guy. He was a coal miner, and he had the proof because if he would hold his hand up, he was missing like nubs to like 3 of his fingers.
Oh, wow.
So he had like a crazy, almost like a permanent peace sign when he died.
Wow, no doubt. Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it?
And he would love to show people. Like he would, like little kids, when they would say, "Uncle Steve, let me see your hand," it would be like he would just grin, and like it would be like, "Yes,
so proud of that."
This guy is so cool.
Well, he worked hard for it.
I'm sure that day or those days when that happened weren't so great. Yeah, but
that's interesting. I remember my grandfather. He lived with us for a while when I was a teenager, but he lived to be 101 years old. He was a coal miner. He smoked a pipe and he chewed tobacco and everything for 100 years. And he lived to be 101. Doing all that in your life, and it's just sort of crazy. Yeah. I hope I get some of his genes for sure.
I guess you just have to hope. Like what I notice and what people say is that it gets to the point where you just if you just start sitting around, then that's it. I mean, obviously, that some people have maybe are dealt sort of a bad hand, like hereditarily, or whatever, like like, okay, nobody really lives that long in that particular family.
Yeah, right.
But then when you hear about these people that live to be 100, 103, there's been a few of those in my family and extended family. And you're like, well, it is kind of, I'm not really sure. I can't really put my finger on what they did. Because then you tell that story about, well, they smoked until they were 75.
That's right. They had to quit, and so they started smoking a pipe.
Yeah, they lived on a solid diet of like pickled meats and beer, and it's like my wife tells this story about like one of her aunts that like that's all she ever ate was like bologna and beer. Like it was like that would be what it was for dinner if you went to her house. Like that's what she would be snacking on every night. So who knows, man? But I would like to think that while we're here, we should drink some good beers, and Silverstock Lager is a really good one, and it's a really good one for a heat wave too. Yeah, so
sure. We were hot. We weren't out for very long, but we were hot. Came inside, cracked one of these open, and man, it just sort of cooled us down. I
like this. We have it in the can here, which is convenient, but then you've poured it into one of my favorite style glasses, which is like it's like the beer can.
Glass,
yeah, which has like a lip on it. So nice,
yeah. I'm drinking out of people might remember this. I think it was Voodoo Brewing. Their Killa Pills. I love drinking out of a nice Pilsner glass, and this is one of my favorites. I have a glass collection. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Mike, but I could show it to you at some point. But I have a ton of glasses from breweries that are no longer around. Most of them in Europe.
Oh,
yeah, because we did a lot of traveling in Europe. So,
is Voodoo still around?
Voodoo is still around, I believe.
They're in Meadville, I think, up near, on your way to Erie. I've stopped in there before. It's been a long time. I was only there.
Yeah, they had one in State College. They had one all. I mean, they really grew there.
Yeah.
To a bunch of locations, and they did sort of more of a simple thing. Where it was more of a tap room type thing. Mm-hmm. And I think they're still around.
They're all right. Yeah, they were. I'm trying to think. We did have them on in one of the early episodes.
We had Matt Allen.
Yeah.
Matt Allen, who was one of the originators, I believe.
Right.
Of Voodoo, and then he went on to do some other things. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a good glass. I like that tall, skinny Pilsner glass, almost like a. I mean, almost like not like a curved Pilsner glass. It's like a nice
straight up.
Yeah, it's like a chimney pipe.
Yeah, that's right.
It's good. So I don't know. Let's just talk about that quick. But I know that there are certain glasses that are designed for certain drinks. Okay, like we obviously know, like a margarita glass. Everybody's going to know that, right?
Sure.
And then you're going to have, like you just said, a Pilsner glass. Is there anything, and then there's just a classic pint glass. Mm-hmm. But is there anything that you think of, like over the years, that was either really good or like one of your favorite type of specialties to glasses to drink a beer out of?
Well, you bet, Mike. I mean, the glass makes the beer. I feel like, although we serve a lot of different beers, we have a lot of different beers, and we have so many different styles at the brewery that we can't necessarily have a glass for every beer, right? Yeah. But I mean, sometimes you just have a lager glass and an ale glass. But for us, the pint glass has always sort of been our go-to, just because it's easy, they're durable. People like to buy them and take them home. Mm-hmm. How many pint glasses do you have in your cabinet?
A lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And it makes me so mad when they break. It's usually unexpected. You're careful. I just had a Penn State pint glass. Well, you can buy a pint glass with pretty much anything on it, right? But I had a Penn State one. It wasn't anything fancy, but I would drink out of it, during a Penn State game. And yeah, I was washing. It seems to be when it happens a lot. You're washing dishes, and if you don't put it in a dishwasher, like let's say you're rinsing it, slipped out of my hand, little crack. I'm like, oh, it's the worst.
Well, you have a lifetime supply, just so you know. So
okay.
Don't worry. Don't fret too much.
No, I have quite a few.
My favorite glass, I believe, is a Hefeweizen glass. It's got that, that sort of round base. Then it flutes, starts a little small, and then it flutes up to that big bulb on the top. And that was, traveling to Germany, it was one of my favorite beer glasses to drink out of.
I do like that.
There's a new IPA glass. It's just sort of the similar type thing. It's a little shorter, of course. But you have a small base, and then it comes up. And the idea is that you can get more aromatics from the hops because it has a big, wide opening.
Yeah, but it's like the size of a pint glass, but it's sort of like bulges a little bit towards the rim. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's pretty small in the middle. It's almost like a Hefeweizen glass down at the bottom. And then it sort of bells out.
Okay. I'm not sure I've actually had one of those.
Yeah, I'll show you one here in the next segment. We could talk about it if you want. But the other glass is sort of like a chalice, a goblet.
Yeah.
A lot of times the guy, and Adam Hershey at the brewery in Mechanicsburg, he's one of the best bartenders that I know or have ever known, and he's been with us a long time. But he asks me every time I order a beer, he goes, "Do you want it in a goblet?" Because he knows that I like to use a goblet. It's very a little smaller, Right. So I'm drinking little smaller beers so I can try a couple different things. But he always offers it to me in a goblet, and many times it's a great idea. But what it does is it just opens it up enough, and you get a good aromatic out of that goblet, and it's a nice thing to drink out of.
I like if you can find one, a good fish bowl. That's always a fun one where it's so heavy.
Yeah,
it's substantial.
Yeah,
and there's usually like a good amount of beer in there too. That's more like deceiving.
You think there's a lot of beer in there, and then you drink all the beer, and the goblet's still heavy.
Yeah,
or not goblet. What do you call it? A fish bowl.
The fish bowl. Yeah. And then I also like the type of pint glass that has and you guys had those, if you still do, at Appalachian with the etching on the bottom. So it's laser etched at the bottom, which creates bubbles.
Yeah, we still have those.
Yeah. So like when you look into it, and you can tell, so you don't think that's a big deal, but if you go inside one of, an ABC brew pub, you'll see it. If you look at the pint glass, and it might be common at other places, but I can tell you it's not everywhere. There's an etching of either, I think it's a
bear paw.
It's a bear paw.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a logo, and then what happens is somehow the bubbles get trapped on that little laser etching at the bottom of the glass, and they so constantly are coming up through the middle of the beer, which is a good visual, and I assume is it just a visual, or is there some sort of
No, there's science behind it.
Okay.
It's a little bit of sharp edge down there through the laser etching. And what that does is it makes the bubbles. It actually makes the bubbles create from the CO2 that's in suspension. It actually pops them. They become a bigger bubble, and they rise to the top. Yes. And I think it's called nucleation.
Oh, nucleation.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I actually think you're right. Yeah. I remember that now. Looking back. Yeah. So if you can order a pint glass with nucleation, then you're adding something like, so that's interesting. So as someone who orders a lot of pint glasses, you've changed designs a little bit over the years. So I imagine back in the day, there was no nucleation.
No, that was a newer thing, probably about, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago. But
okay.
Yeah, in the beginning, they were just regular. We used shaker. Remember, they were called shaker glasses because they were what you used to shake a drink up in.
Right.
And then they became pint glasses, and then pint glasses became the standard for most American pubs and brew pubs because they were so durable. Yeah. And everybody loved them.
And you can get just about anything customized on one.
Screen printed on them.
Screen printed, yeah. So the pint glass is always going to be a classic, but your favorite probably, and I enjoy those two, like the Hefeweizen style. And I also like having a keg system at home. I like having a smaller glass. So I call it a Pilsner glass. I'm not sure if it actually is, but it's it's narrow. I would say it probably only has 10 ounces in it. Like it's kind of skinny, and it flutes up to the top. It's almost like a horn, like the end of a horn, right? And it's like a nice light glass, and that way, you're tapping it, you're having the
8-10 ounces, and
but
and it doesn't get my dad used to drink out of that glass too, and he would drink out of it mostly because your beer wouldn't get cold or get hot. I'm sorry, your beer wouldn't get warm. Sorry. So he would drink out of that at Murphy's Tavern down on Nevada Street in Colorado Springs. And he would drink out of that little glass, and, he'd get close to the bottom and another one would show up. The other thing my dad did a lot, he put salt in his beer. Did your dad do that, or did you remember that?
Well, I've seen some crazy things. I've seen people add a little bit of salt. I've seen people add a little bit of tomato juice. Yeah,
like Clamato or something like that.
But just tomato juice. Like an old fire hall that we socialize at, like up near my cabin, up in the mountains of in Pennsylvania, central PA. So like that would be something that I'd see people do. Like there'd be a little can. It would be one of those little cans of I don't know if it was V8 or if it was something else, but it was like you would have that pull tab on it, and it would be like this small can. And somebody would pour a little bit in there, and it's like just some regular light beer or something. And then I've seen the salt thing too. So that's okay, because salt in beer is a style, I mean, it's salt, lime.
I prefer the beer the way the beer was made, but my dad liked to add a little bit of flavor to it. Maybe he was probably drinking back then. I'm guessing he was drinking Schlitz or Pabst or something like that. He wouldn't drink Coors much because they were union busters. He always said. Right. So they were boycotting Coors. But
growing up in Colorado, is Coors. I mean, obviously it's a big national brand, but some people would think of Yuengling in Pennsylvania as being Pennsylvania's Coors, right? I mean, in a sense. Were there people that just got tired of Coors would drink something else?
No, I mean, the other night we watched Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah.
And that was about bringing Coors up over the state lines or across the country to Georgia. I don't know if you remember that movie but it's a greatest movie. It's so funny. Jackie Gleason is amazing in it. And Burt Reynolds, of course, and Sally Fields, but it was fun to watch. I hadn't seen it in probably 20, 30, maybe 40 years. I don't know how long it's been. But, that was about bootlegging Coors.
Okay.
Yeah, from Colorado to Georgia. Isn't that funny?
Well, I just think that when something is marketed so heavily as, the Rocky Mountains, and that's the identity of that beer. Mm-hmm. And then the same thing, I'll be honest with you, when I was in college, if you went to a normal fraternity party, it was like something cheap. A lot of natural light or natural ice.
Yeah.
That was big. If you went to a good fraternity party, it was Yuengling Lager. you know?
Yeah.
But then, like, you know, you grow up in Pennsylvania, it's Yuengling is sort of, and my wife is from Schuylkill County, so I've seen the fatigue of people who that's what all they were kind of presented with.
Sure.
Like this, and it's okay to have a hometown beer.
Yeah, but it's a good beer. You know, we always had a little bit of trouble with mountain lager.
Yeah.
Because people would look at it. It's a German style. It's a Dortmund style, Dortmund export style lager. In that we produce it in that style, and we would run into a lot of people and they're like, "This isn't lager," because it didn't look and taste like Yuengling lager. Yeah. And you know, because they somehow coined the phrase lager, and so they became the lager, right? If you were in Pennsylvania and you ordered a lager, you knew what you're getting. You're getting a Yuengling lager.
Yeah. I wonder honestly how intentional that was. You'd have to ask them, you know, next time you run into one of them from, you know, with your association with the brewers and stuff. But like, you know, you're exactly right. It's like, I think they just happened to put the word pretty big on the can. And then somebody said, give me well, your three options here are this, that, and that one just says big, you know, it's a lot sooner to be like, lager, say lager, it just became lager. Yeah. But so many beers are lagers, you know. So
maybe Yuengling was too long to order or something, like give me a Yuengling, or you know, they just give me a lager.
Right. Well, if it's your choice of three types of Yuengling, like maybe that's how it started. I don't know. I just think that you're right though. Over the years, that's one of those beers that I used to joke with my wife. She said growing up, it would be, you know, there's in the kitchen there would be. At the sink, it would be hot, cold, and Yuengling. You had your choice of what you could drink today. Yeah, so I understand when people start, you know, breaking away and they say, well, you know what, this is a good beer and everything, but there are other things out there, and it's just like everything else in the world. Hershey Park's not the only amusement park in the United States either, right?
No, that's right, but it's our local one, and you know, we support it, and it's a fun place to go. It's not far from your house, that's for sure.
So just to round things out, I would say about another thing, a vessel, so to speak, a type of glass you would drink beer out of that I would say is very popular and maybe timely at this point is a mug. Nothing beats a good mug or even a Frost
Mug Club mug.
Even a Frosty mug.
Yeah, Mug Club mugs is we still have the Mug Club now, and you know, during COVID there it slowed down a little bit in terms of we lost some members. You know, people moved away. There's a lot of turmoil then, but now our clubs are back up and and all full. I think we may have a couple available here and there, but not a lot of extra mugs available. But you can get on the wait list, and for next year if you're interested. And hey, we always say don't drink out of somebody else's glass.
Right.
You get your own mug, get a little extra because the mugs are a little bit bigger than a pint glass. So you're getting more for your buck as well.
So if you want to come in to an ABC Brew Pub, if you can get yourself a mug in the Mug Club, order yourself a Silverstock Lager, have a real good lager this time of year, refreshing in a nice big pint glass or with the nucleation, or your mug. I'm just.
That's our big word of the day.
It is. It's almost too big for me to remember, but it's a good way to explore beer too. I think that the one thing we talk about a lot is different ways to enjoy beers. It's like this Silverstock Lager is great in a can. It tastes a little bit different, maybe depending on the type of glass you're drinking out of. It can be a different experience. It's another way to enjoy beer, something that you like, and try it and have a different experience with it. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what's going on at ABC, a little bit more about the 250 here in America and Independence Day weekend, and we'll be right back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast.
You're listening to the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. Want more ABC in your life? Visit abcbrew.com. Now, back to Mike and Artie.
All right, and we're back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. It's Mike Parker and Artie Tafoya coming to you here just before the Independence Day weekend. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Hope you have a fun, safe, and memorable one. This is a big one.
250.
250, baby. Here we go. So we were talking before in the first segment about the importance and well, you know, how it can be a little different experience, not only trying different beers, but also trying different glassware with your beer. And you were talking about these IPA glasses and how I wasn't exactly sure what you were talking about. Then you you have a glass collection which you went to here and you showed me. So explain what we've got here, because you poured us some. You poured us a Sigma Oasis.
Sigma Oasis, yeah.
So that's an ABC. That's a New England style IPA from Appalachian. And you've got a certain type of glass, and I've got a certain type of glass that you say is going to enhance this, right?
Well, they're both considered IPA glasses. One's a little more of a tulip style. Like I described before, the small base, and then it opens up. And this area here is, which you can't see because of course we're on a podcast, but it's sort of bulbous, so you're able to put your nose in, and it captures the aromas, and man, this beer just, it's so great aromatically.
It is. And
yeah.
So
this one is, I think, was designed, if I'm not mistaken, this one was designed by Sam Adams owner Jim Cook, right, and Sam Caglione from Dogfish Head. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure they worked together on designing this glass. And it's pretty popular. You can get it online and see it around. And then the other one I have is a little bit different take on that same thing, but it's small again on the bottom, as you can see. It's a little wider on top. This one we used for our 717 release one year. And it's just a wonderful glass to drink out of.
Interesting. So I have seen this. So this is the one that I'm drinking out of, is the second one. And I have seen this style of glass before, but I wasn't sure that that's what it was for. So now I know.
Yeah.
And then the one that you're drinking out of, I got to be honest, it looks like a spaceship or something. It does. I don't know. It's like almost.
You were like, you didn't want this one because you thought it looked a little fragile, but it's really not. It's quite thick. So
no, I don't think the glass itself looks fragile. It's thin. It's narrow at the bottom, and then it has like these bulbs, kind of like I don't know how to say. I want to say like rings, and which probably gives it substantial weight, and then it goes into that more bulb, almost like a flower bulb or something towards the top.
It almost looks like a wine glass sitting on top of there.
Yeah, but it looks...
a thinner wine glass.
I wonder what the bulbs are at the bottom are for, if it's just more for weight or if it's for like grip. I don't know, but it's an interesting...
Feels good in your hand, holds it, yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
I could see it makes a nice grip for the hand. It's also like, to me it looks like it would knock over easily if you had like a small child at the table.
Yeah, I'm sure it would. Yeah, you're probably right.
But this one looks a little safer, but and also it's like when I bring it up to my, you say what you taste is really what you smell, right? So I mean, like
that's so good,
and it just goes right up into the nose, doesn't it?
It really does.
This one is so it has that wide mouth. The kind of like, I like it. So it has the bulb more there, and then instead of being narrowing at the top, it widens at the top, and it's, I don't know.
We'll try to include a picture. How about if we include a picture with the podcast,
just in case.
Then you can take a look at it.
I guess if you could just Google IPA glasses and see if you might be able to figure out what we're talking about. But I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Of all the things that we've talked about in 50 some episodes, I know that we've talked a little bit about some glass before. But I like the fact that, you talk about a goblet, is like, if you're ordering like a sour or like oftentimes like an imperial beer, that's something that's a little higher in alcohol content. Oftentimes you're not getting that in a pint. You're getting it in a goblet.
We serve our sours in a goblet. Yeah. I mean, it's a little smaller, which is good because, a pint of sour's a lot, right? I mean, it's only 4 more ounces, but it's still a lot. And so the goblet's a nice glass to drink the sours out of.
Interesting. Yeah. So
we have a great summer of sours, Mike. I don't know if you've seen them or not, but we started with the orange cream. We went into the blueberry. We're now into wild berry. Then we go to pineapple upside down cake style, and then we finish the year with the apple, which is our noblest. I love that. That's one of my favorite. But you head into fall, and that's the perfect fall style sour.
Perfect. So when you go into the brew pub, summer of sours, look for the different ones that are coming out. We've talked about most of those before. The pineapple upside down is probably my favorite. It's been a while since I had one, but I definitely am a fan of the Noblest, and that apple flavor really that's something that right around the end of summer, save some of that for fall, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's good. And I am a big fan of sours. So you talked about the summer of sours, other things that are happening. I mean, a great place to be in summer is actually one of the most historic towns in America that also happens to have an Appalachian Brewing Company, which is Gettysburg. So great place to visit in the summer. It's hot, but there's plenty to do there and a great place to cool off, right?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, if it gets hot out on the battlefield, we have a brew pub right next to the battlefield, so you can just walk in there. You can park. We have plenty of parking. You can park, come over to the brewery, and cool down a little bit, either in our beer garden, which is covered with trees. At least there's a lot of shade there. But also, you can go into the brew pub and enjoy a beer and a great meal.
You've probably seen just about everything at the Gettysburg Brew Pub, haven't you? Like as far as reenactors and things. And
reenactors, yeah. I mean, that's really our third location in Gettysburg. I don't know if you remember, we started over on Seminary Hill.
Yep.
Then we moved out to 15 and 30, and then now we're on Steinware Avenue, which is real close to the visitor center and all the other
right
main
in the heart
attractions.
there, yeah.
Right.
So everybody, there's a lot of action there, and I imagine people are coming in. You've got the window there that you can order out of, right?
Yeah, the Schwemmer window,
yeah. And so special events, so Gettysburg can be a special event almost on its own, but other places have some special events. Mechanicsburg's got some fun stuff happening right now.
Yeah, no doubt. Check our website and check, look and see on Facebook. We've got a bunch of stuff going on. There is, there's trivia every week. We also have dueling pianos coming in regularly. We have on Sundays, it is a
sing-along brunch.
Yeah, sing-along brunch. Yeah, and I hear it's fun. But I haven't been there because
you're too good.
I'm there all week. So Sundays, I'm taking a day off, but they seem to have been having a good time, and you see it on Facebook and around on social media. Awesome. The girls, girls and friends and everybody getting up and singing, and it looks like a lot of fun. We're doing some craft fairs and other things like that. Just trying to stay relevant, trying to stay busy, always trying to do different things so that, you always can, let's say you want to come in for meals. Well, you also want to go somewhere else, but, let's say you don't want to come in for a meal. Well, this is an event you can come in for, So it's just, it just gives you another opportunity to enjoy all our great offerings.
Beautiful. Because people like Appalachian Brewing Company, but people also like trivia. Now, I know that that's something that's been going on for a long time. Trivia, like I've gone to places at the invitation of a friend. I put it this way. I'm not usually the one who says, hey, there's trivia here tonight. Let's go there. But I've been on the invitation of friends, gone to somewhere for trivia. Mm-hmm. And then I end up there and the trivia is fun, but the place that I'm at isn't exactly. So for me, that would be a perfect combination because I know I would be happy just being in the venue, being in the brew pub, and then have trivia, which I do enjoy. But so that's a good thing to know because a lot of people would think, well, maybe they just didn't know that you had that. So always check the website, abcbrew.com, social media, Facebook, all the brew pubs have social media, and there's so many good pictures. You talked about the sing-along brunch. I've been seeing those pictures now for weeks. It looks like a lot of fun. Brunch on a Sunday. Sometimes, I think we put too much pressure on ourselves sometimes to do, like for me, my wife works very early in the morning and I work pretty much a normal schedule. So for me, I feel guilty if I go to inside the house almost and like start relaxing before the sun goes down in the summer. Because I know it's coming in November, in December and January. And so I like to soak up every minute of it I can because I love it. But at the same time, don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. If you have something that you want to do and somewhere that you want to go, make it about you. Don't limit yourself to I've got to do some outdoor event. If you want to go and do Sunday sing along brunch at Appalachian Brewing Company Mechanicsburg, you go and you knock it out of the park. Right?
Should be fun.
Yeah,
get a group of girls, get a group of people together, and head over there and enjoy it. Yeah.
So. Let's just talk, 4th of July, it just brings up a good point. Aside from all the 250 stuff, which is really cool, it's just a great picnic holiday. I mean, it's probably among the best picnic holidays. I mean, people are feeling good, feeling patriotic. You've got all sorts of events that people are building up to. You've got, people are having pool parties. There's going to be fireworks. Is the history that some people latch onto around the Independence Day holiday. So when you're cooking, having something good to drink on this is also very important. What would be your go-to, Artie, if you were just grilling some burgers and some dogs at your house and you had a couple of people over that you wanted to satisfy and say, look, I want to have a little something here for everybody. Let's talk about beer. Let's talk about spirits. Let's talk about, cocktails in a can. Give me a couple options here that would be good for a party like that.
You bet, Mike. We could do, talking about beer, I would always suggest either a Mountain Lager or an Argyle IPA. Those are two great, not so high alcohol drinks that you can have a few of, right? And not get overly, not overconsume. Then in terms of spirits, we have a new botanical gin, which has been my go-to a little bit.
Have you been drinking that a
little bit of gin and tonics happening. I was on vacation a little bit, so we hammered down some gin and tonics. And, other than that, I would say, the canned cocktails, our Trinity line, I would say, the transfusion is probably, Skinny Orange is great but I mean, it's just light, refreshing, not a lot of calories, so it's good. You can have a few without putting on the pounds. But the transfusion is in the summertime. It's the golfer's drink, right? So if it's good out on a golf course, it's got to be good in temperatures like this. So that's the ginger and grape transfusion, and so those are sort of my go-tos right now, and been enjoying a bit of them.
So at the brew pubs, outdoor seating areas, people right now, so some people describe the heat that we're experiencing right around going into 4th of July as somewhat oppressive. I think I heard the news call it excessive, because it did go from, I was complaining having a backyard, having a pool. I was complaining that the month of June was like really underwhelming. Like I have to beg other people to come in. I go in the pool every day because I see it as a maintenance thing. If the more you go in a pool, the cleaner the pool stays, because you're mixing it up. Yeah, and you're getting it into the filter. But the fact is, if the sun's really not out that much and it's not hot, then the water, unless you have a heater, and that kind of thing, or a solar cover that you're willing to do all that, the water just doesn't get there, and so you're a little
chilly.
It's cold, and people are not. People want to be refreshed, but they don't want to be like a polar plunge. So I'm happy for the hot weather that we're having because I have the pool and it means that it's going to be used. But I don't know. It's just pool beers, pool drinks are important to me. And I like something light and refreshing. So I would go for something like a transfusion or one of the like the vodka lemonade.
Yeah,
that would be good.
Vodka lemonade's good too. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, all these things are available at ABC Brew Pubs or the state stores.
Well, there's a couple different ways you can get it. You can get our Trinity line and our spirits at state stores, select state stores, and you can also order our spirits and transfusions and cocktails online, and you can get them delivered now through Spirit Animal. We have a new partner. It's an alcohol delivery service called Spirit Animal, and you can go to our website, and there's a pop-up that comes up, and you can click on it and order that direct to your home.
Nice. So
an order comes in, it'll be delivered. Now we have limited hours right now, just because Spirit Animal has some limited hours, but if you call in and order it, you can get it right away. We're trying to expand those hours as we go. We just wanted to make sure we didn't get overwhelmed a little bit here by too many orders and we didn't want to disappoint anybody.
So is it like a DoorDash type deal? Like
it's exactly like DoorDash. Yeah.
But it's for spirits.
It's for spirits, yeah.
So obviously, you're going to have some sort of like, I haven't looked at the website yet, but you're going to have some sort of verification when they get to the door or whatever. Like,
yeah, they have to check ID when they get to the door. It's that type of thing.
Nice though. I mean, the fact is, you've had one or two, or you're busy prepping for the party and you don't have time to run out and you want to get something like that. Spirit Animal, that's the app or the website.
You go to our website.
Okay,
our website, and there's a form on there. It's a jot form that you can fill out. It takes your credit card information. Everything has to be paid in advance in order to deliver in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So it's paid in advance, and then they come by, pick it up, and take it right to your house. Yeah, limited area as well. We're only I think Carlisle to like Lebanon.
Okay.
And I would say probably North Harrisburg to somewhere down, in Shrewsbury in that area. Gotcha. So, yeah.
That's a pretty decent size area.
Yeah, it's good area. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, I love it. So Spirit Animal, because you go to abcbrew.com, look for Spirit Animal, and if you need something delivered to the house, check it out. See if it works for you. It could be a convenience that could come in really in handy.
Yeah,
for sure.
You can always also pick up, place an order at orders@abcbrew.com. You can place an order and then come pick it up. We can do that for spirits in Mechanicsburg and Gettysburg. And you can also do that for beer at all three locations as well. So you can order it and pick it up. So that's another option. There's no fee for delivery or for pickup. Delivery, I think there's a $12 fee for delivery, just like it would have for Grubhub or any of the other ones.
Nice. And then last thing we talked about, I was mentioning it before when I kind of sidebarred, but it was about my pool. I was talking about outdoor spaces. So some people would say that oppressive heat, it's going to be great. I just need to find some air conditioning. In fact, it's encouraged to cool off. You don't want to spend too much time, out in the excessive heat. But, especially in the evening, you guys have some awesome outdoor locations. So if you're someone who likes to be seated outdoors at a restaurant, tell me about some of the places that we can go to get an outside seat at ABC.
Well, of course, Mechanicsburg, we have the big beer garden in the front there, cornhole, all the different events and things you can do there. We have a nice patio that's covered in case you want to be in the shade. We also have picnic tables with umbrellas there. That's a very sunny spot, right? The trees haven't grown up yet. We planted trees when we first went in there, and they're growing, but not as quickly as we'd probably hope. But and then Gettysburg, the beer garden there is incredible. That the big trees there, there's plenty of shade there, not a problem. And the beer window, you can go up and order beers and drinks right there at the beer window and pick them up and pay right there without actually having to go into the bar. But you can certainly go in as well to grab something if you need to. And then Lidditz, we have the deck there. It's a little patio area. Seats about 20 or 30 out there, so it's not huge. But it's very popular for dining, especially later in the evening when it cools down a little bit.
Beautiful. All right, so look, we've covered it all today, Artie. We've covered
we did.
First of all, the month of June flew by. We're getting into July. We're kicking it off with a bang. I want to wish everybody a happy and safe Independence Day weekend. abcbrew.com for all of your beer needs, spirits. If you want to check out the Spirit Animal service to get something delivered right to your house, that's super convenient, and it's going to come in handy for a lot of folks, especially if you don't want to get behind the wheel. Let somebody bring it safely to you. And
that's right.
Keep the party going.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, and I'd like to do the same. Just wish everybody a happy 250th, 4th Independence Day, and so excited. We've kicked off our summer. It's been as busy as ever, which is great. But please keep us in mind when you guys are making decisions on where to go and grab something to eat. We'd always want to be a part of that decision. Again, the only other thing is I'd say, Mike, is it's been pretty dry out. Be careful with your fireworks this year. We haven't had a lot of rain lately. we always have a lot of rain, but especially in the spring here. But it dries up quickly, and it seems like it's pretty dry out there right now. So just be careful. And again, we wish everybody a safe and happy weekend.
All right, keep an eye on things. abcbrew.com, social media. All the brew pubs have a great page for themselves where they talk about those special events. Looking for something to do, a good time is not far away. Great beer, great spirits, great people. Always Appalachian Brewing Company. Artie, it's been a great time talking to you.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Mike.
Wish you the best. Have a great rest of the summer. We'll talk to you shortly here. We'll have another podcast coming up. You want to check out some of the old podcasts? They're all archived there. And until next time, Artie, we say to you, safe travels and
cheers.
Cheers.